Sports professor Rick Horrow. Beyond the Scoreboard, 15 to watch this week. The top issues: business, law, marketing, endorsements, administration, policy, everything, 15 to 1. Number 15, Mike Trout, undoubtedly one of baseball's top talents, but the market he plays in could be holding him back from really stepping into the spotlight of stardom and fame. Trout, the potential face of baseball, toiling in relative obscurity, while players like Cubs third baseman Chris Bryant and Dodger shortstop Corey Seager, younger stars in more vibrant markets poised to achieve greater fame. Trout currently has sponsorship deals in place with Nike, Body Armor, J&J Snack Foods, fighting, but the local Anaheim market he plays in doesn't provide him the national exposure that a talent like him deserves, some say. On the other hand, it's also possible Trout doesn't care about being the face, as he's unassuming and reportedly will skip playing for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Well, here's my take. Major League Baseball promotes its superstars as part of its attempt to grow the game. Trout is a significant part of that equation. And after a banner 2016, baseball poised for increased revenue, franchise values, corporate stability, television growth, and long-term labor peace well past 2017 and beyond. That's number 15. 14. MLS has grown considerably in size and popularity across the United States and Canada over the past few years, prompting Deloitte to lay out the benefits of introducing a pyramid system in the U.S., similar to what's used in many other nations in a recent report. However, MLS Deputy Commissioner and President Mark Abbott claims the report to have serious credibility issues. The report stated, "We believe, Deloitte, the introduction of promotion and relegation into the existing league system could have numerous long-term benefits: increased attendance, increased broadcast audiences, improved commercial revenue, and a positive impact on both elite players and grassroots participants." But Abbott argued that the system would prove faulty if implemented in the U.S. due to the incredible amount of time, money, infrastructure, and resources required to grow the game domestically. And here's my take. MLS executives strive to grow the game, generate additional market support, and attempt to become a top 5 international league to satisfy their lofty goals. A difficult task, to be sure, but one that will continue to have a chance to succeed as long as the league evolves positively. And that's number 14. 13. Carolina Hurricanes president Don Waddell assured the public the team is not for sale, despite rumors circulating in the sports world. Owner Peter Carmanos not actively looking to sell the team, ending any doubt to the team's intention to leave town and relocate. Waddell noted NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has said more than once in the past year the team would not be relocated, and the league is committed to having a franchise in one of the fastest-growing markets in the country. Carmanos believed to have his valued his franchise at $400 million, and the Hurricanes are last in the NHL in home attendance at a little over 11,000 through 8 home games, after finishing 30th last season at a little over 12. But Waddell said that the total revenue hasn't been negatively affected due to the decision to significantly reduce the number of complimentary tickets. And here's my take. The NHL should be proud of its Sunbelt strategy: youth hockey development, industry growth fund, cultivating long-term fans. The Hurricanes have been a centerpiece of that strategy since their Stanley Cup victory. Hopefully, that will continue. And that's number 13. Number 12. Syracuse University looking for a new naming rights partner for its famous Carrier Dome. But this past season's abysmal attendance surely won't help its case. According to the Syracuse Post-Standard, the university's football team finished the season with the second worst average attendance in the Carrier Dome era, about 32,000 fans per game, improving on last year's average of only a little under 32,000. Last year, Coach Scott Schaefer's final one, though a new coach this season, clearly did not help boost attendance that much either in the grand scheme of things. A lack of talented opponents also not the reason for the drop. Half of the Syracuse 6 games at home actually played against ranked opponents. The Syracuse AD announced efforts earlier this week that it hopes will improve football attendance next year, including lower prices for season ticket holders, allowing season ticket renewals 3 months earlier than usual, and allowing fans to use payment plans in an effort to budget. But here's my take. Interesting, the Carrier Dome was the textbook example of a positive and synergistic corporate naming partner. The years have worn the relationship, and by the way, the building. But Western New York deserves a new corporate naming partner to help Syracuse take the next economic step in the turbulent college football and basketball business. and that's number 12. Number 11. Golf's return to the Olympics last summer in Rio drew mixed reviews, but the sport expected to retain its Olympic status until at least 2024. The sport's appearance in Rio marked the first time it was played in the Summer Olympics since '04, and it had been promised a spot for 2020, but maybe not after. British pro Justin Rose captured the gold medal this past summer, topping Henrik Stenson in the end, but after many tour players, including Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, dropped out, citing Zika and a tough tour schedule as primary reasons. The IOC meets early next year for a standard review and to announce what sports it'll feature in the 2024 games. Here's my take. Olympic officials understand the importance of golf as a corporate magnet as well as long-term economic engine. And however, though, the key will be to tinker with the format on both the men's and women's side to generate incremental excitement for players, fans, and the golf industry alike. And that's number 11. Number 10. It's official. The Detroit Pistons will be moving into Little Caesars Arena next season. The Pistons will share the soon-to-be-complete arena with the Red Wings. The new facility will be way beyond what one team will need, but now the Pistons will eventually sign a lease to move downtown and play in Little Caesars Arena, opening next fall. And sources close to the team speculate the team will last 25 years with a guaranteed lease, but the number still undetermined as they continue to negotiate. As part of this development, the team will now build a practice arena in downtown Detroit, separate from the other arena. The entities will also likely join forces to combine the concert businesses of Palace Sports and Entertainment and Olympia Entertainment. And here's my take. The Detroit area now has four teams, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, and Tigers, that have made a significant long-term commitment to downtown Detroit. All have had other alternatives, all played in other locations, and all have chosen to migrate downtown in an attempt to generate sufficient social, economic, political, and developmental impact for the city of Detroit. Another example of sports as a catalyst for economic revival. That's number 10. Number 9. United States men's national team now needs a new coach after firing Jurgen Klinsmann. He's leaving a complex legacy, one that was full of hope and became muddled with, quote, unfulfilled promises. In his early years as the manager, he worked effectively to recruit key deals such as dual residencies to wear red, white, and blue internationally as well as American. But however, last week, the men's national team lost 4-0 to Costa Rica, marking the first time in 15 years that the U.S. had lost consecutive World Cup qualifiers after falling to Mexico 2-1 earlier in the month, leaving the team's hope of qualifying for the World Cup in jeopardy. Other key losses in Klinsmann's tenure include a 2015 Gold Cup semifinal loss to Jamaica, the first to a Caribbean team on home soil since 1969, and a loss to Guatemala, the first loss to that country since '88. And here's my take. American soccer transcended the first hurdle a while ago, survival and stability. We all grew up in a generation of tremendous hope and long-term vision. Now, though, the pressure mounts to actually produce. Can the MLS continue to produce homegrown talent to perform admirably on the international stage? We'll have to wait and see. Number 8. Bayer Leverkusen looking to expand its fan base, and not just in Europe. The German club launching a new initiative to attract followers from North America and the U.S. The move by Leverkusen follows the likes of Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund as German clubs trying to tap into the American sports market. While Leverkusen yet to travel to the U.S. for a summer preseason tour, it'll for the third consecutive year participate in the Florida Cup during the Bundesliga's January winter break. The team signed a media deal with Fox Sports last year to televise its games in the U.S., proven to be a catalyst for the club in expanding the brand. The team also launched new social media accounts with a primary focus on English language content for overseas fans. And here's my take. The process intensifies an ongoing trend for European team marketers and managers reaching across the pond for American fans. The process has, quote, gone the other way for a number of years, but all international soccer executives see the tremendous potential in capturing the corporate base that includes avid North American soccer fans, and that's number 8. Number 7, Honda back on board as title sponsor of this year's NHL All-Star Game. the Japan-based auto manufacturer actively involved in sports-related sponsorships. 60% of the country's sponsorship sports-related, including golf tournaments, stadium naming rights deals, and action sports events. And now will be the title sponsor of hockey's All-Star Game for the third year in a row. The sponsorship builds on the company's current 9-year sponsorship of the NHL, one that makes Honda the official vehicle of the league. The game will be played in late January at the Staples Center in L.A., and Honda additionally sponsors the Breakaway Challenge during the NHL skills competition, as well as presenting a 2017 Ridgeline truck to the MVP. Details not disclosed, but here's my take. Commissioner Gary Bettman sets the highest standards, and he continues to beat them. The league will use the All-Star event to emphasize the compatibility between sports and entertainment and provide an event that will be a memorable showcase of what the NHL, AEG, the Kings, and Honda could do together. And that's number 7. Number 6. Change is coming to Oakland, where the A's shook up their upper management and reasserted their commitment to building a privately funded ballpark in the Bay Area. Co-owner John Fisher will take over for Lou Wolf as managing partner, the latter of whom will sell most of his 10% stake in the club. Earthquakes president Dave Cavall will take the same position with the A's, replacing Michael Crowley. Wolf has been a very influential player in team management over the past decade, a period which he was constantly scrutinized for the team's low payroll and attempts to move to San Jose. Under new management team, the A's look to a new stadium at an unspecified location in the Bay Area, not another city, and Cavall will play a lead role in the finding of a new stadium deal and process going forward. And here's my take. Commissioner Rob Manfred provided a clarion call with his informal timetable. Get a stadium deal done within the year. Look for the mandate to shake up the Bay Area in an interesting game of stadium, facility, and community musical chairs. And that's number 6. Number 5. In an attempt to increase diversity among managerial roles, MLB cut ties with search firm Korn Ferry. The league was frustrated that their managerial and GM vacancies this winter were filled without a single minority hired from outside the organization. To start, the leadership search firm did a very poor job at identifying potential minority candidates, let alone hiring them for the positions. The Twins interviewed only one minority for each of their 2 open front office positions this postseason, and the D-backs interviewed 2 minority candidates for their vacant GM position, but yet no club has hired a minority GM from outside the organization since the D-backs hired Dave Stewart in 2014. Here's my take. Commissioner Rob Manfred spoke in great depth about the importance of hiring minority candidates for top positions, even if that means creating new positions to increase diversity. Baseball legitimately focuses on representing the makeup of its players, fans, and hopefully its future demographics as well. And that's number 5. Number 4. Despite technically selling out 244 games in a row and 300 consecutive home games overall, including playoffs, the Miami Heat faced with a new attendance problem. Hundreds of seats empty at games this season, largely attributed to the team's poor start and the departure of superstar guard Dwayne Wade. And the future really doesn't look too promising for the club either. Many of the Heat season ticket holders are in the final season of their 3-year contracts and may not renew if the team doesn't start playing better. But Heat Executive VP and CMO Mike McCulloch said that it hasn't been determined if the season ticket prices will change, but fans will be approached with options, quote, very shortly. The Heat sellout streak currently ranks 2nd in the NBA, behind only that of the Dallas Mavericks. And here's my take. After spending 50 years in South Florida, I really do know what the town covets. Winners. Preferably undefeated winners like the 17-0 Dolphins. But they also love their world champions, the Heat with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. It's really difficult to plan for on-court mediocrity, but the Heat will now focus on entertainment rather than only sports in an attempt to de-couch their audience. And that's number 4. Number 3. The Los Angeles Rams officially broken ground on their new Inglewood Stadium complex. Stan Kroenke's new stadium will be built on a 298-acre lot with the goal of becoming the most unique and fan-friendly stadium in the world. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, Inglewood Mayor James Butts, made an appearance at the ceremony to celebrate the groundbreaking of the $2.6 billion development. 70,000-seat stadium set to be open in time for 2019, and surrounded by 2 million square feet of retail, 6,000-seat performing arts venue, a theater, homes, 25 acres of public parks. And to put the scale of the construction site in context, the lot at the stadium being built 3.5 times the size of Disneyland. Rams officials already in discussions with NCAA about future Final Fours, in addition to discussions about being a site for the football championship in college and also playing a role in LA's 2024 Olympic bid. And here's my take. This facility will be the next great, iconic building. The Astrodome, Madison Square Garden, AT&T Stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and this new facility, all North American treasures. And that's number 3. Number 2, the Monday Night Football game a couple weeks ago between the Oakland Raiders and Houston Texans has given the NFL a chance to further examine the market. They're aiming to grow its international series to include a game in Mexico on an annual basis, expanding from the traditional games played overseas in London and the UK. And the sport has grown immensely in Mexico. 9 games are televised live every week. Viewership up 28% in the past 5 years. Football's overall popularity also growing. 6,500 league-sponsored teams in youth programs, 27 of 32 Mexico states. NFL Mexico General Executive Director Arturo Olive says that 2.5 million kids play flag football in elementary schools, and Mexico City's great metropolitan population reaches north of 20 million, meaning there's a massive potential to draw in new fans. And here's my take. The game was an artistic, economic, and social success, smog and oxygen deprivation notwithstanding. The league should resolve its social and marketing stadium issues by early this next year. The Las Vegas Oakland Raiders, either one, the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers, either one, and the LA Rams. And at that point, the league will be free to assess its long-term international alternatives, Mexico, England, and Germany. And that's number 2. And here's number 1. Jimmy Johnson joined NASCAR royalty with the 7th NASCAR championship, clinching it at Homestead Miami Speedway. Even more impressive, he won all 7 of his titles in the chase era in several different formats. 41 years old, the youngest guy ever to win 7 Cup titles, joining Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, as the only others to have ever reached this amazing milestone. Petty chimed in saying, "Congratulations to him and his team. He's a great champion and really good for our sport." And in the current era and state of NASCAR, been described as the most competitive era in the sport. So Johnson's 80th Cup win at the Ford EcoBoost 400, even more impressive. Johnson certainly has a great shot at recapturing the Cup next year, making him statistically and numerically the greatest. And here's my take. With the on-track drama over, the boardroom drama now really begins. How will NASCAR leverage its history, fan avidity, long-term assets, and leadership vision into a mega naming deal that rivals the Sprint commitment over the last decade? And that's number 1. And I'm the sports professor Rick Horrow with the top 15 business, legal, marketing endorsement issues, 15 to 1. See you next week.